Hello my friends. Today we're going to refinish this beautiful Warmouth strap body. I believe it's made out of poplar on the back, and on the front it has a beautiful tiger maple top. The customer tried to relic it. Be a lot easier on a nitrocellulose finished guitar, but this is polyester, not polyurethane finish. It is a two-part finish, and it is the industry standard for most modern guitars these days, although I do use 2K, which is also goes on very thick, very tough, and it's pretty easy to work with. Now, stripping this stuff, your normal everyday stripper will not touch it like that super stinky stuff, or the orange stuff. It won't touch this stuff. So the only way to get it off efficiently is with a chisel and a heat gun to get it down to the bare wood. And it is, as you can see, a time-consuming process. You have to heat it up pretty hot, and you got to work it real fast, because as soon as it cools down, it's like peanut brittle. But when it's nice and soft, it's like caramel. Now it's possible that the base coat on this that's sitting on the wood is a polyester, and the top coat, the color coat, is a polyurethane. They are compatible, but the polyester is often used as a base coat, as a sealer, to speed up the finishing process. It goes on very thick. It's very tough. This process alone took me several hours. I don't remember exactly how long it took me, but I did have to take several breaks from it and put it aside for a day or two, just because the task is just so tedious. The trick is just to keep it hot with the heat gun, and if it cools down, stop and heat it up again. Otherwise, it gets very brittle very fast, and it's very hard to chisel off. For the sides and edges, I found it much more efficient to use a cabinet scraper. And a lot safer as well. Man, this is exhausting work. This polyester is very tough. And as you can see, I'm leaving the best for last. It's going to be tough to do those corners and all those little details. It's one thing to do the flat surfaces, which are tough enough. Several hours later, I'm almost done. There's still a thin layer of polyester stuck to the belly route there. But beautiful top. We'll remove the remaining polyester by sanding it. I filled all the small holes with dowel and sealed it with super glue. That's because when I go to wet sand it, I don't want the water to get into the wood, expand the wood, and create an esker there in the grain of the wood. I also paint the neck pocket, the input jack route, and the tremolo route with super glue around the upper edge near the top, so that moisture does not bleed into the end grain and cause a ridge in the finish underneath. I placed a popsicle stick underneath the batten so that the batten doesn't get glued to the body when I put the polyester finish on very thickly. It'll create a little space in between the body and the batten. I also placed tape on the batten for the same reason. I don't want it to stick to the body. So we're going to do a very interesting finish on this. We're going to put a silver burst on the top and not spray the beautiful tiger maple. When I spray it with a candy apple red, it'll create a very interesting effect. Okay, here we go after the just one coat of 2K. It's got some lumps, some dust in it, and some general lumps and bumps, but I'm going to be putting 3 or 4 coats of this stuff on here. I'm telling you, I love this color. It's just, the camera does not come close, no matter what filter I put on it. It just doesn't convey how luscious and red this is. It's just a lovely color. You can see where I sprayed silver burst around the whole thing, but you can still see the wood grain underneath in the middle. Pretty cool. Yeah, the camera's not doing it justice, but man, nice. Making it look more orange than it really is. I've sprayed another 3 coats on this now, and I'm going to give it a final sand. I'll probably start at 800 and go all the way up to 5,000 grit paper. Now with this 2K product, I find it's best to do your wet sanding within 48 hours of spraying it, or it'll cure up so hard it'll be almost impossible to get rid of all of the scratches. And it has been about 4 or 5 hours later of just sanding until all the scratches from every previous sanding grit are gone. Now we're going to buff it. Yeah, right, that's how it looks there. I did a little buffing here. A little test buff. I think we're going to be good. I think there's a little scratch there I'm going to pay attention to, but I'm going to go over the whole thing and see what we got. Go back and touch up what we need to touch up with sanding and rebuff it. And this baby will be ready to go. I'm going to buff it using medium cut Mazerna. Not a sponsor, but I do like this stuff. I find it works better at higher speeds. So I'm going to buff this 2K at about 1200 RPM. Okay, so that's just about it. That's all I got for this one. I didn't get any further footage. But here I like to put my studs in with the drill press and a rounded head bolt. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you next one. See ya!